All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back for another week of Just a Fan Podcast. What's up? What's up? All right. So, I am your, I'm your supposed to be retired host.
No.
I'm supposed to be your retired host, Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia, whatever, NFL Encyclopedia. That direction, panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. This week we're covering the AFC East. As you can see, the title, it says AFC Is. And the reason why I put a question mark there is because, like, we probably know what the AFC East is going to be this year, maybe. But I think long term, we just don't know what they're going to be. You got New England, who's going through a whole new change. I mean, front office, coaching staff, everything, man. So, and I told our guests in the green room, I said, look, this is going to be a team who you need to put in a smoker and then come back and just check on them periodically, but see what they really look like in 3 years. Okay. Then you got the Jets, who probably has a no more than 2 year window to try to win it all. Aaron Rodgers continues to get older and older. Then you got Buffalo, who, man, Trisha said it last year, their window has closed. So we'll see what they look like. And then you have the Dolphins, who has a very good play call on offense. I think they have a new defensive coordinator. But they have a very good roster, so we'll see what they do this year. But also moving forward, I just don't know what the AFC East is. And real quick, down below we got Steve White. What's up, man?
How's it going?
And let me introduce you our guest. He was on the show last year when we did AFC East coverage. He's a Dolphins fan. Anime Dolphin, what's up, man?
What's up, y'all? Excited to be back. Had a lot of fun last year. Looking forward to it this year. Gonna be a lot of fun. Many changes in this division. Can't wait to get into it.
All right. Well, hey, let's get into it. E, go ahead, take the floor, man.
Well, first of all, I just want y'all to know, for those of y'all who watch the show on a regular basis, that you could tell that my background is different. I'm broadcasting from a hotel room tonight. I am behind enemy lines, as so to speak. I am in the great state of Arizona. Yeah, and being a Niners fan, that's behind enemy lines. But I'm gonna be Brody either way. I'm probably gonna wear my 49ers shirt like to the store tomorrow, just to dare somebody to say something. Like Gary Coleman is your quarterback. Get out my face. So yeah.
He violent, man. He be looking for trouble.
I don't be looking. I'm gonna tell you, just like T.I. say, I ain't looking for no trouble. I ain't ducking none either.
This boy's off the hook, man.
Yeah. So, man. I'm the show must go on no matter where I'm at, man. As long as I got my laptop and I got my mic, my trusty mic, and my notes, because I always keep I keep receipts.
Man. So, man, you so excited you can't even keep. You knocked the microphone over.
I'm used to a bigger desk. Forgive me on that. I'm used to a bigger desk. I'm working what I got in here, so it is what it is. But I'm really excited to get into this division because there's gonna be some things that we probably gonna say tonight that's probably gonna upset some people, because some people have in their mind an idea of who really runs this division, and we finna tell you different. We're gonna tell you why. Okay. Now, first of all, shout out to Anime Dog Fan for coming back. Good to see you again, brother.
Appreciate
But I'm gonna say this because Steve talking about I'm always looking for trouble, so I guess I'm gonna have to be the one to say this. If you are upset that this is gonna be mostly about the Dolphins, mostly, and it's not about the Jets or the Patriots or the Bills, you had your opportunity to come on this show. I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. We put out an all call. That all call still stands. We still got divisions to cover the rest of this summer. But if you want to be a guest on our show, just let us know. But don't get mad when your team is not represented. We still have we still got three. Yeah, we still got three divisions to cover. So if you are a fan of any of the divisions, and we'll talk about it at the end of the show. But if you are a fan of any of these teams in these divisions, by all means, let us know. We have several platforms that we're on. You can direct message us on any of these platforms and say, hey, I'd like to be a guest on your show. So don't get mad when we talking about the Bills and we say something you don't agree with. We talking about the Jets. We said something that you don't agree with. You just need you to show up, Jets fans, like y'all don't show up for the playoffs.
Oops. Shots fired.
We need you to show up, Bills fans, like Josh Allen don't when he plays a top tier team. So I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? I just keep it. I keep it a buck. So that's what I do,
man.
But again, shout out to Anime Dog Fan who ain't scared to come on here and say what he got to say about his team and this division. So with that in mind,
and hold on real quick, he's on here for the second year in a row. So you had ample reason to be on here because he was on here last year talking this stuff.
Hello. And if you didn't agree with what he said last year, guess what? You had a whole year to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna debate this guy. I'm gonna go on the show next year when they do this. That's all they had to do. But they didn't show up. So I don't want to hear nothing. All right. So with that in mind, Anime Dog Fan, you have the floor, sir. Tell us about the AFC East.
Well, like they said, I was here last year, and I said last year that we'd be the number one in the division. I ended up being wrong, and y'all could have had a whole spiel about how I was wrong, but nobody came on then. No one came on now. So it is what it is. I'm going to say some things throughout this process. And again, you disagree with me, I really don't care. I mean, it is what it is. And especially if you're a Jets or Patriots fan, y'all haven't done anything to even be talking anyway. So yeah, if we want to get into it, let's go. I'm ready.
Yo, I wish I had a soundboard because I would have played a song Head Busters on this one, yo. Dang.
It is what it is. We trying to tell people, hey man, if you want to come on and knowledgeably talk about your team, we're gonna give you the platform. But nobody wants to come on. They want to, throw rocks and hide hands and stuff like that. They'll comment and say this, that, and the third. I'm like, come on the show. Come on the show. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't care. Thank you, Donald V, because that's my brother Donald V. He know me personally. He know I don't care. Okay, the band is too loud. Who you talking to? We'll crank up some. We'll play louder. True story. But anyway, I digress from my point. But yeah, man. So go ahead, man. Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
All right, so just talk about the AFC East in general, man. Tell us what you think before we do rankings.
You talking to me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, yeah.
My bad.
Honestly, I think this division is kind of in a weird spot. I mean, I think there's a very clear number 4. And I'll say it right now, it's the Patriots. They're by far worse than the other 3, and I don't think that's a controversial take. If you're mad about that, I don't know why you're upset about that. Yeah, y'all dominated for 20 years, but you haven't done anything since. And Tua is damn near undefeated against y'all. Same thing with the Jets. He is 5-0 against y'all. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to be saying some things tonight. I mean, Bills and Jets, Dolphins, I think that's a much closer debate. But, yeah. It's definitely an interesting spot, and I think the title of this stream makes a lot of sense for that.
We gotta see what we gonna get. Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad that I titled that way because I had a feeling that's what it was because I was like,
Yeah.
I just didn't know I didn't really know how to come up with something concrete regarding the AFC East, man. Like I said, New England is just wow.
Yeah.
New England now versus New England 5 years ago is just complete opposite, man. Just complete opposite. You can definitely see the changes. Like I said, not just on the roster, but even just the front office. Period. Buffalo. Y'all gonna get my opinion on Buffalo in a minute. Same thing with Jets and Dolphins, man. But Panda, you got any thoughts on the AFCs before we do these rankings, man?
Yeah, I think Anime Dolphin has a point. It's gonna be like there's a shift. We're gonna see some things that this season, in my opinion, again, barring injury. I have to always qualify everything I say with barring injury. Because somebody come back, oh, well, you said such gonna do this. That was before XYZ got hurt. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
You know, and I got the receipts from last year because a lot of us, 3 of the 4 of us picked the Jets to win the division last year because of Aaron Rodgers being there. But we all saw what happened week 1. So that changed everything.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. So that being said, and when we get to our picks later on in the show, they're just some clear-cut ones. I think anybody would be crazy to not have the Patriots in 4th place.
Yeah.
You got a new coach, you know, you got a new quarterback,
New GM,
everything.
Not just a new head coach, a new whole coaching staff, like head coach, offense coordinator, and defense coordinator. Correct.
That entire staff is brand new. Now, could the Patriots pull a Houston Texans?
No.
Who knows? I'm not going to say they can't because crazier things have happened, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I think the other 31 quarterbacks would have to blow their knees out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, yeah. So I think it would take something like that. I agree. I think it would take something like that. But there's no shade on the Patriots, even though we like to throw shade in the Patriots because
they dominated for 20 years. Like
right,
it is what it is.
They've been dominant for 20 years, and we were sick of them and Brady. And you know, the decline started the minute Brady left.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
definitely.
And watch this. Let me go ahead and throw another shot out there. The decline in the fan base happened when Brady left.
Oops.
Yep. Because a lot of them went over to Tampa with him, which is
they jumped on their bandwagon.
I can't find one Pats fan now, to be completely honest.
Thank you. I know one Pats fan, and that's because he's from Boston.
Yeah, same.
That's it.
I have a bunch of my family because they're from Mass.
And that's the thing I was talking to him about in the green room. I said, look, unless you're really from Boston, you're not really a Patriots fan, man. There's no Patriots fans around here.
Most Patriots fans are Patriots fans because of Thomas Brady. You know, that's it. That was it. And as soon as he left, they stopped being. I give you another example. There was a lot of people who were Indianapolis fans because of Peyton Manning.
Yeah, they're crickets now.
Yeah, so that's the example. You know, you got to be true to your team no matter who's playing for them.
Absolutely.
You know? So you can still like the player, but you still got to hold on to your team. So
exactly,
the fan base got exposed last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, for sure. I'm a diehard man. Me and my Pats. This my man. You from Houston, Texas. Shut up. You know, oh man, my Pats fan, bro. Stop. You from Burbank. Like it's like, yeah. So, but yeah, man, it's like the true fans are gonna stick with their team, and I don't mean to go off on a tangent here, but true fans stick with their team no matter how bad things get. And I'm just telling you right now, things are gonna be bad for the Pats this year. And if the people that are still cheering for the Pats this year, that's who we know are the true fans.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. You can earn a lot of respect from me.
The dark times. 100%. You guys stick with your team with the dark times. My fiance is a Raiders fan. You know what I'm saying? And like she still, you better not say nothing about the Raiders. You're gonna get hit with a bat or something. So, you know,
Yeah.
so that's I'm just saying. So that you have to, you know, really, really be a true fan. And the mark of a true fan is someone who sticks with after the star player has retired or gone to another team. That's still your team. So, but that I think I don't want to speak for the rest of the panel. Tristan gave me his picks, but I can tell you right now, Anime Dog fan, myself, and Tristan have all picked the Patriots to be last place. So I don't know about Steve and Brandon.
Yeah, no, myself as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I'll
don't
put
think
you
there's going to
down.
be much of a debate here.
That's a universal. I think we have consensus as far.
I mean, listen, man, listen. I just said it. The only thing that's even consistent in New England right now is the ownership, and that's Robert Kraft, man. I mean, completely new front office, completely new coaching staff, rookie quarterback. You're going to be in last place because you need to build. Like I said, you need to put the New England Patriots in the smoker right now. You need to check on them every so often, and then let's come back to them in 2026 and let's have a discussion.
Yeah, and not only do you have a rookie quarterback, which also I think Jacoby Brissett will probably end up being the starter. The running game isn't that crazy, and their receiving core is awful. Like, they have no one that can consistently create space. It's just not a good look and not what you want to set up a rookie quarterback for. I would bury him on the roster, not let him touch the field this year. Like, I'd put him below Bailey Zappi just to make sure he don't even play.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even a diss to Drake May. I just wouldn't want to hurt his confidence. I'd build the
don't put him
roster
out
another
there.
year first.
Yeah,
There's no point.
Don't put him out there. Don't put him out there like that.
No.
I think when the biggest name on your team is Judon, and rightfully so, that
he's a
could
good
be
player.
the issue for the offense.
And Kendrick Bourne's an all right receiver too. But.
Yeah, he's honestly, Kendrick Bourne is at best on his best day, he's a number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
And he is solid, like third down, move the chains. You know, It's 3rd and 7. You need a tough catch. You know, he's that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do like Jalen Polk, the receiver they drafted, but again, that's not really going to help him in this situation. It's not enough.
Right. Like again, I mean, they had a decent draft, but when your veteran presence is Matthew Judon, I mean, he's the biggest name, Matthew Judon. It's like, okay, that says something, you know. And it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. Matthew Judon's a dog, but
he is.
Nobody's like quaking in that booth at KJ Osborne, Javon Baker.
No.
You know,
and the guys they added on defense, like the top names are like Anthony Jennings and Oshane Jimenez. Like, that's not going to cut it when your defense wasn't nothing and you lost a bunch of guys this year. Like, that's a bad look. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's more of a debate to be had about the other 3 teams in this division than the Patriots. I think we you know, and like I said, if you mad we throwing dirt on the Pats right now, then man, just look within yourself. and
look, I'll throw an olive branch. I watched a 1-15 Dolphins season. Like, it is what it is. I went through that. So y'all can have this for a couple of years. It is what it is.
Listen. I'm looking on this. I'm looking at the roster right now. The 2 tight ends, Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, has not done anything since they've really been in New England.
Nope.
Christian Barmore, whatever.
He's good. He's a solid player, but
they got Tristan Hill. Tristan Hill didn't do nothing for us in Dallas. That's a waste.
Y'all kind of misused him a little bit too, but I still don't think it's going to help.
Kyle Duggar is a good safety. Christian Gonzalez was hurt last year. I will give him that.
Yeah, he's a good player.
We'll see what Jonathan Jones and Marcus Jones does at corner. Jabril Peppers is a utility knife, but I mean, really outside of that, you're not really looking at a whole lot. No one is really sitting here like, oh my God, like we need to
average roster. I mean, this is
basically
you got like a handful of really good players, and then you got just some guys.
And I don't even think they have like one dominant player to even be a focus. Like, they got some solid guys with some
I like Matthew Judon. I like
he's a really solid player, but That's
he's the best player
for sure,
in my opinion.
Yeah, he's the
but
best
if
player
Matthew Judon's your best player, that's a kind of an issue. Like, he's a good player, but
and when he's not healthy, then what do you have? Because he's had injury issues.
That too.
You know. But
that's facts. So moving on, I guess we've saved a little time here because we have a unanimous decision across the bottom for the Patriots. We're gonna stop begging on them in case somebody else, like, man, why y'all dogging the Patriots? But let's be real, ain't nobody finna dog us out about it because ain't no Patriots fans around. But let's talk about the other three teams. Like,
that's where it gets more interesting.
Yeah, okay. So I know personally, and I guess I can go ahead and tell everybody my pick. We can just go ahead and do it like that. My third place team is the Buffalo Bills.
Okay,
and
go ahead.
Somebody probably gonna be like,
I agree.
And I have them as my third place team because outside of Josh Allen, that was a mass exodus out of Buffalo this offseason. I mean, a mass exodus. I mean, you lose Stephon Diggs, you lose your number 2 receiver, Gabriel Davis.
Yep.
Mitch Morse at center, 9 lines.
I mean, it's just it was like, hey, we leaving. And it was just a mass exodus. You couple that with the fact that this is a team that when the rubber meets the road, and winnable games, mind you, that they don't get it done in winnable games. Like, I don't care what you say, they could have won that game against Kansas City this season. That was a winnable game at the end. Mm-hmm. But going back to it, you have Josh Allen, who everybody touts as this elite quarterback, and I'm not so sure. Because I just the decisions that he makes, honestly, has really hurt them. But I mean, just listen to this list right here. You got Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Mitch Morse, Leonard Floyd, Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, and Jordan Poyer. That's who left Buffalo.
Ouch.
So the best player left that you have.
Listen, they weren't overachieving when they had all those guys. I'm gonna just say.
I agree.
Yeah,
and they lost a lot of their depth players at those same positions too.
And that's my point. Is the point that I'm making is that they weren't doing well with those guys, and you're going to sit up here and try to tell me that they're gonna somehow be better this season without those guys. When you have a Jets team that's gotten better, just simply
and hopefully has Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the Jets has hopefully a healthy Aaron Rodgers. So, and then you have a Miami team that basically held everything together the best they could this offseason, despite their cap issues. They were already closely contested with each other. These are teams that were already closely contesting Buffalo. Buffalo got the edge sometimes, but you can't sit up here and convince me that Buffalo is not going to be better than third in this division. Again, disclaimer, barring major injuries from the two teams that I have above them. So Josh Allen's got to mature as a player and make good decisions late in games. Mm-hmm. And the guys that we have as pretty much, hey, Sam, the guys that we had that are going to be coming up to fill these roles that we don't know about, they got to miraculously be able to either duplicate the same production from those other guys or do better, which honestly I don't see happening. I just don't see that happening. So, that's why I got the Bills. The Bills is my third place team. Steve, what you got?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
I'm going to answer that. I agree with everything you said, E. You said it perfectly. Something else we got to factor in, I think we all been doing it, looking at schedules, looking at where the Bills finished last year and who's on their slate for this year. So they also have the Ravens and Chiefs.
Oh.
Outside of the common conference and division opponents.
Yeah, they have 6 teams, like non-divisional teams, that made the playoffs last year on their schedule this year, and only 3 of those are at home.
Exactly.
Tougher schedule.
So they're going to struggle. they're going to struggle. I got them at third as well, and that's all I got to say about that.
Brandon.
Hey, real quick, where does Tristan have him? I just want to know.
I can't tell you that right now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right.
Yeah.
So I too have him in third place. Listen, when Josh Allen came out of Wyoming, I never believed in him from the beginning. His completion percentage was sitting around 55 to 60%. Okay. I saw a kid who can throw the football. I saw a kid who can run. But unless a team was going to truly sit there and develop him to be a true quarterback, I knew it was not going to work out. Now, when Trisha said the window closed last year, it took me by surprise when he first said it. And now look back on it, I'm not surprised that he said it. Last week, he also brought up a good point that teams need to stop trying to go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes so much, because Patrick Mahomes is just in his own stratosphere.
Bad strategy.
And when Buffalo did that a couple years ago in the playoffs and they came up short in overtime, that was probably when the window started shutting, okay? You have Josh Allen, who not only is inaccurate, but when he can't throw a simple intermediate route. And you saw that last year in the playoffs when he tried to throw the ball to Diggs. He completely missed him. And me and Rob, who's Anime Dolphin, we talked about in the green room, he has a bunch of 6'3", 6'4" targets outside of Curtis Samuel
that can't create space,
who can't separate, but they all 6'3" and 6'4", and it's like, okay, well, yeah, you can throw the ball to these guys because it's a larger catch radius, but like you just said, these guys can't separate. Dawson Knox is a good tight end. Dalton Kincaid is a big wide receiver because he can't block as a tight end. Kenyon Coleman is a rookie receiver, but whatever. But other than that, man, we're not seeing much of anything from Buffalo that sit here and say, "Oh my goodness, like I really need to be scared of you." Eric, you brought up the two safeties that lost. You replacing one of them with Taylor Rapp, who hasn't really done much since he's been drafted.
I was about to go there with the defensive, because you pretty much covered the offensive side of the ball. I was going defensively.
Yeah, go defense then, and we get the floor at Anime after that.
Yeah, and I just I'm not very convinced about the linebacking core: Nicholas Morrow, Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano. Matt Milano's solid. He's solid. Mm-hmm. They went in. They got Rasul Douglas to play one corner, but Christian Benford.
Yeah, but Douglas he's more of a slot guy.
Right. So then you have Taylor Rapp and Mike Edwards at the safety positions. Mm-hmm. You can't convince me at this particular point that they're going to give you what Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer gave you. They're not. Could they? Yeah, they could go play out their mind this year. But just looking at what the roster was, and what the roster is, and then what Steve said to his point about the schedule, I don't know. I can't put them any higher than third place unless they start showing me something different, So go ahead, Anime.
Appreciate it. I agree with what a lot of y'all said. We kind of talked a little bit about it before the show, and I know you mentioned like barring injury, but I also think that the Bills made themselves less resistant to an injury shattering their season, because if they lost Josh Allen, they would be worse than if the Dolphins lost Tua or even the Jets lost Aaron Rodgers, because Mitch Trubisky throwing to Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, that's a bad match, and I don't even know if they're winning a game.
That's a point I didn't even think about right there.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky is the backup.
Ouch. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's something I didn't even think about, and that's a really good point.
And that's not even like a major diss to Mitch, because I don't think, honestly, that Mike White is that much better than him. But we have receivers and an offensive coordinator that can help a Mike White or a Skylar Thompson. They don't have a receiver that can separate. You got Khalil Shakir, who's a gadget guy, Curtis Samuel, who's okay. Then you got a bunch of 6'4" guys, You got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who can't catch.
Mm-hmm.
You got Chase Claypool, who doesn't want to play football.
I was going to say that Chase Claypool doesn't even want to play ball. You know?
Now, Anime, I'm gonna push back on you on one thing and only one thing.
Okay.
Mike White to me is better than Mr. Trubisky.
Yeah,
I agree.
I kind of agree, but I just wanted to even give them the benefit of the doubt. Like even
no. I'm not even gonna give them a benefit of the doubt. I'm not even gonna be nice about it. I've seen Mike White. Okay. Mm-hmm. I've seen him in New York. I've seen him in Miami. I think he was in Dallas before all that.
Yes, he was.
Mike White is better than Mr. Trubisky, man. It's a clear-cut difference. Trubisky is a quarterback at this point, and I said this about Denzel Mims in the green room. I'm not. If I'm a GM or a head coach, I don't want you on my roster because I'd rather have a younger guy who I feel like I can develop. I feel like at this point you are more of a UFL quarterback or Canadian Football League quarterback. What's up, Rashad, man? But I mean that's what you are, and there's nothing wrong with that because you can be successful in a different football league. It's just you're not an NFL player. Sometimes you're just not.
I'll do you one better. I think depending on how because training camp's coming up fast. I think maybe Mike White can beat Mr. Trubisky for that second string job.
Well, Mike White's not even on the roster.
Oh, wait. I thought he...
No. He's a Dolphins quarterback, but I was comparing Mike White to Mitch Trubisky, saying if, like, Mike White was in that situation, like...
I did drop the ball on that. I'm looking at the roster now. Yeah, he's not on the roster.
Yeah. So, like if Tua were to go down, I think...
No, y'all be in good hands.
Yeah, even if you brought Mitch to the Dolphins, I think Mitch would do better in Miami with a good receiving core and coordinator than Mitch Trubisky would in Buffalo.
Yep. And let me add to what you just said. You gotta know how I feel about the Dolphins. How I feel since Stephon Diggs got there. Coaching has been an issue. Coaching has also been a big issue in Buffalo.
Yep.
In regular season games, listen, they've had their roster. They've had all the pieces, man.
They've
had all the pieces for the past 4 or 5 years. Coaching is a big issue there, and that's a simpler way to look at it too. Now they have less talented players, so I think we all think they're really going to struggle now.
Not to mention over the last 2 or 3 seasons, they've been through some coordinator changes because originally Leslie Frazier was a defensive coordinator. They got somebody else running that defense, and then they fired Ken Dorsey in the middle of the season last year and brought up Joe Brady. So they have definitely been through some changes on the coaching staff. Everything is really on Sean McDermott. I won't call Shane McDermott. Sean McDermott, because, like I said, you've been through coordinator changes.
Yep.
You've been through a big roster almost overhaul. So it's on you,
it's on him,
and it's on Josh Allen. And you know what, Steve? Steve, I'm surprised you didn't say this part.
I got something to say too.
Sean McDermott is a defensive-minded coach.
That's what I was about to get into.
He's a defensive-minded coach, and I know how. Go ahead, Steve. I'm gonna let you finish.
I know about defensive-minded coaches being head coaches, but I'm gonna just say something, man. Hey, listen, he's a more polite as far as coaching. He's a more polite Nick Sirianni as far as coaching style. And I'm done. Go ahead, B.
Oops. Dang.
No. You got to elaborate on that. No, you got to elaborate on that, Steve. Come on back.
As far as calls, as far as coaching your quarterback, as far as emotional calls and game decision calls.
That's all I was looking for.
That's what I got.
Okay, that's all I want you to say.
I got.
Okay, that's all I was listening for right now. Okay, go ahead, Brandon.
No, I'm finished. Go ahead, Anime.
So what I was gonna say is, I think there's still a pretty good chance that 3 of these teams end up in the playoffs, and that includes the Bills, because I do think that even though they will be 3rd in the division, in my opinion, I think, like you said, Sean McDermott is a good defensive mind, and even with the losses, I think they'll have a comparable defense. It's going to be worse than last year, but I think that defense that he'll have, Josh Allen playing hero ball, he's going to win some games, lose to the big opponents, but he's going to win some games. And I think if they're playing a 2 tight end set like they should, with James Cook and Ray Davis as running backs, in a decent O-line, I think that is okay offense. But when you go up against the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Chiefs, you're going to run into problems with scoring against those guys.
I got to push back a little bit on you on that one.
Okay.
I don't think there's going to be 3 teams that's going to make the playoffs in this division. When you go back and you look at the AFC South and the AFC North, and quite possibly the AFC West, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be 3 teams.
The AFC is loaded.
It is loaded.
It is loaded to get into the playoffs. Even with 7 teams that can get in.
Yeah.
The AFC is just so loaded. Now, if Buffalo was in the NFC, I can probably give you a little bit more of that. But that AFC is loaded.
It's loaded.
Man.
It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy.
It is.
So yeah, but with that being said, I think Tristan, this is gonna blow your mind because I got to get Tristan's pick because we're on the 3rd team right now. Tristan picked the Miami Dolphins.
What?
To be the 3rd place team.
Did he have reasons?
Wow.
No, he just gave me his picks. He's on vacation right now.
That's why you didn't want to say anything.
That's why I didn't want to say anything. And it's gonna be as we go up, you're gonna be like, what? Yeah, because he texted me and I was like, okay, wow.
I mean, honestly though, I will say there are reasons you could say that. The Dolphins haven't finished seasons super well. Mike McDaniel and Tua have kind of fell apart in the later parts of the year, last couple of years. But I just think the Bills roster has completely collapsed. The Jets have too many question marks.
Yeah, Buffalo's window has closed.
Yeah,
they're going to need a significant rebuild.
It's time for a new head coach. I know Josh Allen got his contract extension.
Josh Allen ain't going nowhere.
He's not going to get them to a Super Bowl.
They remind me of where I think Cincy is heading themselves. To be completely honest,
they could be because Joe Burrow
windows closed, man, and
Joe Burrow is injury all the time, and he had this opportunity to win the Super Bowl and came up short.
Yeah, I mean when you draft well, it's a gift and a curse because you have so much talent early on. But then you have to pay them to keep them there, and windows close when you can't pay everybody what they want. It's just a business,
Well, so for moving up to number 2, and this is a playoff team in my opinion, now let me qualify this. My number 1 and my number 2 team for this division could flip-flop.
Same.
Me too.
I really feel like it could be this, but my number 2 team, and I picked them to win the division last year, and then week 1 happened, the shortest debut on a new team ever in the history of football. But I have the New York Jets as the number 2 team in this division, but they could easily be number 1, and it all hinges on quarterback play. We know what that defense is.
Yo, my God.
New York.
Yep.
Robert Saleh has got that defense barking mad, and he just added a few more pieces to make them even better. So we know Robert Saleh is the best defensive play caller in that division. And then you turn around, and obviously, if my number 2 is the Jets, my number 1 is the Miami Dolphins. They got the best offensive play caller in the division. So,
okay.
I have the Jets as my number 2, and that's simply based on what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and that turf in MetLife Stadium, which is atrocious.
Okay,
not mad at you.
Okay. Can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I have Miami at 2. And obviously the Jets at 1, and only because of this. I think Miami has a better overall roster, but I think the podcast knows how I feel about teams and big party cities and the urge to win. I feel like the Jets window is so small with Aaron Rodgers probably impossible last season. I think there's a level of desperation that the Jets may have to where they could be number 1. If the Dolphins went number 1, I wouldn't be surprised or upset or anything. I think it's interchangeable. I just feel like the Jets window is tighter and there could be more of an urge.
No doubt.
New York at number one. That's just my opinion.
Okay. All right. Anime.
I also, like you said, I have it very close, and I wouldn't be shocked if it switched. But I do have the Jets number 2, Dolphins 1. I think that Rodgers coming back off a torn Achilles, as old as he is a bit of a question mark. And the fact that he played 4 snaps for them last year and isn't available at practice right now to work on chemistry, I think is a bit suspect. The only receiver he's played with before is Alan Lazard, who's buried in the roster. I also think, like I said with Buffalo, I think they're a little bit less resistant to injury. If something happened to Garrett Wilson, their receiving core falls apart. Like Mike Williams, good player. I doubt he stays healthy. There's especially in MetLife. But after that, you got Malachi Corley, Alan Lazard, Xavier Gibson. That's rough. Garrett Wilson, very good number 1 receiver, but after that, that receiving core falls apart, in my opinion.
That's real.
You said that the Jets defense. I do think the Jets defense will be great. Don't get it twisted. But you said that they added players, and they did, but they also lost players at very similar positions. Like they gained guys like Javon Kinlaw, Hassan Reddick, but they lost Bryce Huff and John Franklin Myers at the exact same 2 positions. So, and you can argue Hassan Reddick or Bryce Huff, but I think John Franklin Myers is straight up better than Javon Kinlaw. I loved Kinlaw coming out.
You get no argument from me on that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I won't argue with you on that one because Javon Kinlaw is an injury issue. Yep. He has amazing ability, but his knees are shot. You know what? And that's why the 49ers let him walk.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna Enemy Dolphin and I'm gonna say something because I'm gonna put a bow on this.
So, like I said, I just think they're a little bit less injury resistant than the Dolphins are. The one positive they have is a pretty easy schedule. Outside of division opponents, they only play 3 teams that made the playoffs last year, and 2 of those games are at home. They play the 49ers, the Rams, and the Texans. So I think that does kind of help them.
The Browns 2.
That was 3. I said the 49ers, the Rams, and the Texans. That's 3. And also I think the fact that all 3 of their coaches from last year, head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator, I think that definitely helps them. They're all coming back this year. Although I don't believe in Nathaniel Hackett at all. But
that's another problem.
That's a whole other discussion.
But I do think it's close. I definitely do think it's very close because that defense is great. And if everybody stays healthy, that offense should be great. But who knows? And their offensive line has improved. But, Tyron Smith, I doubt he stays healthy all year. I highly doubt that. Same thing with Morgan Moses. I don't think he stays healthy.
And I'm just thinking about where they play. Oh my God!
Yeah, exactly. These injury
ACL killing
right.
In
These
NFL.
injury-prone players in MetLife Stadium is a nightmare.
You know what?
And also, you also mentioned the party city thing. Yes, Miami is worse, but I wouldn't say New York isn't a party city. You know what I'm saying? It's not as bad as Miami, I'll give you, but I don't know.
Now, with that, and Brandon, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna just say this right quick.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers' backup is Tyrod Taylor.
Yes.
Now,
which is good.
Brees Hall is still
really
a running back. Brees Hall is still a running back. So I think I still like them to be at the top of this division if everybody else can stay healthy on the team. Let's say if Aaron Rodgers isn't ready to go, I think Tyrod Taylor is good enough to win them some games early on until Aaron Rodgers can come back or possibly build chemistry with his wide receivers. That's one of the rationales I have for them being on one of the top 2 teams. Now, if Aaron Rodgers can come back week 1 and he's healthy, then, we got.
And he still looks like Aaron Rodgers.
Right. So go ahead, Brandon. That's all I want to add.
So all y'all brought up great points. It's basically my bow on the whole thing is what y'all just said. Because I was going to throw Tyron Smith in there because I'm like, Tyron Smith last year was the most he stayed healthy in a long time. He played 13 games, and that's because we didn't let him practice at all during the week. He knew the entire playbook. He's learned a new playbook. He has to gain chemistry with a brand new offensive line. Yes, he's good for pass protecting, but when it comes to passing off stunts, those twist stunt games with the left guard, whoever that is, like that's like you got to get that down pack. So, and then like I said, he can't stay healthy. You brought up Morgan Moses. Look, I'm a Cowboys fan. Morgan Moses used to be in Washington. Morgan Moses was never a good offensive tackle, in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Now you drafted an offensive tackle, so
Olu Fashanu, I would start him.
Fashanu. So I would think Fashanu would be outside, but if he's inside a guard, fine. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers might get injured again on that turf. Mike Williams can't stay healthy. Hassan Reddick, man, he's holding out for money. He hasn't shown up yet.
Yep. That too.
Javon Kinlaw, you said, is injury prone. So really, with Hassan Reddick holding out, and I don't know when he's going to get that contract, and with Kinlaw being injury prone, like that's defensive line. Everything still starts up front. I know they got Quentin Williams. I get that, but
100%.
Their defense could take a slight step back just off of those two guys because one is not in camp for money and one could be injured. So, and then offensively, it could become a disaster depending on how things shake out. It really could become a disaster.
And also, you got to think that Aaron Rodgers isn't in camp right now either. They haven't even reported where he's at.
Right.
And he's a guy that missed all of last year. Like,
he might be out there trying to be a politician.
Yeah.
So Brandon, who do you have for your number 2 team?
So that's the reason why I got it. I'm sorry. So saying all that, that's the reason why I got the Jets number 2.
Okay. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3. 3 of us counting. 3 of us have the Miami Dolphins winning this division. Tristan selected the Buffalo Bills.
I don't actually hate that.
To win the division outright.
I don't see it, man.
I don't either because their roster is falling apart. But between Josh Allen and their coaching staff, they have endured a lot. I don't think they win the division. I really don't. But if you're just going to go off of past results, I could see how you could come to that conclusion. But.
Yeah. So as y'all know, I keep receipts on Just a Fan Podcast. Our picks from last year, which was funny. And again, I want to qualify this because a lot of these picks were made when we thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to play for the Jets all year.
Yeah.
And after 4 snaps, he was gone. Well, actually, it was 5 snaps because his Achilles snapped. But so I know I'm terrible. But so all of us picked the New England Patriots to finish dead last in division last year. We were correct. Okay. The Jets came in 3rd place because of the injury. And myself, Brandon, and Steve picked the Jets to win the division. Tristan picked the Jets to finish 3rd last year. And he was correct.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So for the Miami Dolphins finished 2nd last year. And myself, and Brandon picked the Dolphins to finish 2nd. And we were correct. Tristan picked them to win the division. Okay. And Steve picked them 3rd. All right. The Buffalo Bills won the division. I picked them 3rd. Brandon picked them 3rd. And Tristan and Steve picked them 2nd. So, yeah, that was interesting. But we're gonna always keep the receipts. I know I do. I keep all the receipts. So,
I know I was all kinds of wrong too. But again, the Aaron Rodgers thing, whatever.
That just threw
that don't count.
Yeah.
That don't count.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this the one time I'm like, you know what? I ain't even mad that I was.
No, there were 4 games where they scored 12 points or less.
Right.
Yeah.
And 2 of them were 6 points game. Like come on.
Exactly. You can't hey man, they didn't have Aaron Rodgers.
If I knew Zach Wilson was going to start the whole year, my list would have been different.
Oh, I'd have had them way
Oh,
down.
God.
I'd have had them finishing third too. If we knew, if all of us, I think if all of us,
and a shutout.
Yeah, we nah, man, nah. We might even pick them last if we knew it was. Well, no, I would have.
No, Patriots were bad. Patriots were bad.
Yeah,
Mac
Jones is. Yeah, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones,
boy,
quarterback, Alabama.
Is he a quarterback? Let's be real now. Is he a quarterback?
Well, he might. Well, hey,
he listed as a quarterback, but
Eric, this is what I said. You may not be an NFL quarterback, but you could be a Canadian Football League quarterback, or you could be a UFL quarterback.
He can go join AJ McCarron, the other Alabama quarterback in the UFL.
You are correct, sir. That's a very good point, Brandon.
Hey, because what's his name? Tua's little brother went to Canada.
Yeah. Yep. I think Mac Jones is a family reunion quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a guy that plays quarterback at your family reunion with your drunk uncle and your cousins out there in the field.
Oh God!
I don't think he has the arm to do the up ball that you're going to need.
You called a family reunion quarterback?
He's a family reunion league quarterback.
Can you at least give him UFL or Canadian Football League?
He is the family reunion,
or give him semi-pro.
He's the family reunion quarterback.
Golly,
that's it. I stand on business. That's what I said. I said pretty much that when he was coming out of the draft. And
that's worse than Chase Gerber's. That's insane.
Eric, I felt like you electrocuted the man.
I already said again. I already said like I said before. Like when he was coming out.
Okay, all right. Let's go to number one. I'm sorry. Let's go to number one. Just give you a reason why. Because we ain't fooling with Mac Jones. Come on.
Okay. I mean, it's relevant. It's AFC East.
I know, man. But
I had the Miami Dolphins as number one. So does Brandon, and of course, Anime Dolphin. And I just feel like that they have the better roster, they have the better overall coaching staff. And I want to say I got to look again, but I believe they have an easier route. Their schedule's a little bit easier. So
who's your defense coordinator again?
Anthony Weaver.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Very excited about him.
That's right.
There's just so many weapons on offense. There's just so many weapons.
Yep.
Odell Beckham is not what he used to be. Nobody's like saying he's gonna come in and save the world.
He's a solid number 3, though.
If you asking him to be a number 3, he's gonna do that, and he's gonna do that at a high level. Tyreek Hill's finna get another deal soon. Jalen Waddle just got his. Raheem Mostert is still a dog. I'm still upset that San Francisco let him walk out the door. Then you got Devon A-Chain, Houston, Texas product. Marshall High School, Fort Bend ISD. He's still on the roster, and you got Jeff Wilson sitting in your back pocket, just as the third guy on a
fourth.
Yeah, the fourth guy because you got Jalen Wright. I forgot about him, but Tua's he's taking some weight off, so he's gonna have a quicker step. But you got 2 solid backup quarterbacks there. Mike White and Skylar Thompson. I like both of them, especially in this offense.
Facts.
I like them in this offense.
Facts.
So, I mean, you can't the roster just looks better. It just looks so much better than Jordan Poyer joins the secondary now. Javon Holland was already a solid safety.
They just brought in Calais Campbell.
Right, and they just brought in Calais Campbell. He's not what he used to be, but
he does help, not feel the pain of losing Christian Wilkins quite as much.
Right.
Not to mention he knows that defense because he was with Anthony Weaver in Baltimore.
Right. So I mean, and how can you lose with a dude named Storm Duck on your team?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, Storm Duck,
the undrafted corner.
He's an undrafted corner, but his name is Storm.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I just had to throw that in there. But I mean, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, the list goes on and on. This roster is stacked. And like I said, the only thing that will keep them from being winners outright of this division is injury or, Mike McDaniel having just a complete meltdown. And which I don't see him doing. He might have that meltdown later on in the playoffs, but he's Kyle Shanahan clone in the regular season. He's a whole fool.
He's a good beast, man.
In a good way.
A lot.
Tristan is not here to defend the grenade that he threw in the room because he had the Bills winning the division. That's what he is. You know what this is? This pick that Tristan made, and Tristan, I know you're gonna watch this later. It's like if you farted in an elevator and got off. These picks right here, that's what that is. You ain't around to explain yourself. You let the doors close and the elevator going up several more floors with us stuck in here, and you done got off the elevator. You ain't here to explain yourself on these picks. That's what you did. You farted in the elevator, Tristan.
And then instant transmission out, so he doesn't have to smell it.
And it's interesting because he's the one that said Buffalo's window was closing.
Exactly.
He said that last year. So
I literally think, hey man, how many of y'all watch Game of Thrones? Littlefinger said chaos is a ladder.
Yeah.
That's what he did. I think he did that because he knew he wasn't going to be on tonight. So he just gave me some crazy picks and was like, see you later. Well, you got to explain yourself. I don't care. Next week, we're talking about the NFC East. But before we get started next week, Tristan, doggone Trist TV, you got to explain these picks. We're gonna take a good 2-3 minutes for you to explain these picks before we go to the next division. But you farted in the elevator, sir. We don't appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. Of course, I got Miami number one just because. Well, another reason, McDaniel's a way better play caller than Nathaniel Hackett, man. Nathaniel Hackett, he is he a coach?
No,
he's a friend of Aaron Rodgers.
Because he failed at head coach with Denver. He's successful as an OC because of Aaron Rodgers.
I could be a good OC with Aaron Rodgers too.
And I don't know what title he held before that, but it's like, nah, man, nah. And
again, me picking the Jets, I just think they're just a little bit just more desperate. Well, they're a lot more desperate than.
Well, and I agree with you. I agree with you.
Now next season, it probably won't be the same, but I'm just like they're desperate right now.
Listen. I said at the beginning of the show. This is definitely a 1 year window, maybe two,
just one,
maybe, but it's definitely a 1 year window. That's it. And you asking yourself to get through all the rest of the conference just to even get to the Super Bowl. You got to get through the rest of the conference, not just the division, the conference. Good luck to you.
Yeah, because that conference is stacked.
It's stacked.
The conference is stacked. So yeah, man, I just don't see. I don't see how you could pick the Bills to win the division. I'm still on Tristan right now, but I can see you saying it could be either the Jets or the Fins. I can see that.
Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah, but I and here's the thing. Time will tell because I'm gonna save this, and we're gonna be on a year from now. And if the Bills win the division, I'm gonna be right here saying, you know what, I was wrong.
Yeah, 100%,
100%.
Yeah, but I just don't see it.
That ain't gonna happen, man. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
I gotta say.
Josh Allen is done. Sean McDermott is done.
I'm like Stevie Wonder at midnight. I just can't see it. I just, Okay, so
on that note,
that's going to conclude our show for tonight. And
hang on. Let me just get a couple points off real quick for the Dolphins.
Okay.
For one thing, with the Jets have never beaten Tua at any point in his career so far. He is 5-0 against them. I just want to say that real quick. Also, the fact that not only did we gain Odell, we got basically no receiving production out of our tight end room. We now have Jonnu Smith, who isn't a star, but he's way better than what we had previously last year. So there's that. We did lose some O-linemen. Connor Williams has apparently been medically cleared, so we are looking to potentially get him back, which would be great. Running back room is only better than it was. We did lose Christian Wilkins, but Calais Campbell at least kind of helps with that. But pretty much everybody else we replaced. Xavier Howard, we went ahead and replaced him. So I'm not really too worried about that. We got Kendall Fuller from Washington. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. It doesn't have a injured groin, which will probably be helpful. Xavier Howard's been dealing with that for 2 years. So, yeah, I'm feeling really good about it. I think our safety room got an upgrade. The only thing that kind of worries me, beginning of the year, we don't know if Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb are going to be able to play. They're both coming off of season-ending injuries last year. But if not, honestly, we got edge rushers. We got Chop Robinson. We got Shaq Barrett as well to kind of carry the load until those dudes can come back. So it is what it is. That's all I wanted to say.
Charles Robinson from the DMV, baby.
Yep. And that was Anime Doll Fan. Make sure you go to his channel on YouTube and subscribe to him. But subscribe to us first because he got more followers. But subscribe to us on YouTube. Next week we will be covering the NFC East, the nastiest division in football, the most hate-filled, just visceral, angsty division in football. And I think we have enough people already, but I'm not sure. But if you would like to come on and talk about the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Commanders, or the Giants next week, please hit us in the DMs on any of our platforms, which Brandon's about to give you in a second, because we're still covering our conferences. But yeah, it's gonna be you don't want to miss this one because I think it's all hands on deck next week. None of us are gonna miss because Brandon and Steve are Cowboys fans. Tris TV is a Commanders fan, and I'm just here for the carnage.
Yeah, that sounds interesting as hell. And just think about like this one we had tonight. Think about how much more fire this would have been if I would have had like a Bills fan to actually go back and forth against or a Jets fan.
I'd have been doing my dance, puppet dance.
Right.
Yeah.
But we more or less just agreed the whole time, which was still dope. It was a vibe, but you know.
Yeah. So if you would like to be a guest next week on our show about the NFC East, and there's a lot of y'all some of the most hate-filled, despicable people I've ever seen in my damn life. You NFC East fans. So all y'all just hateful as hell.
For sure.
So hate. It's the player haters convention for those of y'all who ever watched that. So I'm telling you, like I ain't gonna hardly say anything. And I'm not gonna hardly say anything. So if you like to be a guest, hit us on the DMs. We'll make sure that we vet you. Now here's the thing. Let me qualify this again. Just because you're a Rabbit fan, don't we can't have everybody because y'all crazy. NFC East, y'all crazy.
Y'all real crazy.
Yeah, we can't have because hey man, I know the DM box gonna be full and all our platforms, but some of y'all, hey man, you know what? I think it'd be better coming from either Steve or Brandon. Some of y'all know what I'm finna say. Why we can't have y'all on the show.
Basically,
you gotta have educated mess.
Yeah.
And he ain't even a fan of the division. I wanted to come from an NFC East fan saying that. So I'm just saying. Because some of y'all Eagles fans, hold on, let me do this. Some of y'all Eagles fans.
Eagles, Giants, Washington, Dallas, y'all all for the most part of the talk. There's some dope people in every fan base, but
y'all crazy. So, we can't have, this. I'm just saying. But please, by all means, join us next week. If you just like watching reality TV, tune in. You ain't got to be a fan of this division. Just tune in so you can watch. I probably won't get 2 words in edgewise next week. I'm just saying.
I can't wait.
So, with that being said, Brandon, go ahead and see, that's why you ain't gonna be on the show, Carl, right there. Because that was unnecessary. At least we ain't lost 3 times in a row to the same team.
Let's wrap. See?
Yeah.
Oh, but
you want to go there? We can take it now. I got the platform. You want to go there?
But
at least my defensive end wasn't on his podcast talking noise after he got blown out. Still talking. And hey, we keep going. We keep going.
All right, we done.
Don't come from unless I call you, and I ain't got your number, and I got the microphone. Don't try it. All right,
we're done.
You gonna stay up. If you ain't done what we done to get what we done where we at, be quiet. There you go.
All right, so. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for joining us for another week of Just a Fan Podcast. Like Eric just stated, we're going to be covering the NFC East next week, okay? Shout out to Anime Dolphin for being on our show. Hey, this is 2 years in a row. So now, fans of other AFC East teams, y'all need to be on next year. This man been on twice now. So y'all need to stop being scared, stop being chicken, stop being hiding underneath the rock. Okay.
I ain't invading none of y'all.
Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop being in your little turtle shell, your little snail shell, and all that other stuff. You need to be on here next year.
Yes, sir.
Because you see the fire he brought in this second year in a row he done so.
2 years straight.
2 years straight. Anyway, so, and if you're gonna be on the show next week for NFC East, you have to bring intelligence. Can't be all that emotional. So we will talk to you and see if we feel like you can be on the show. Down. Well, you can't see it because the way my screen is. But anyway, down below, next to Anime Dolphin is Steve White. To the side of me, panel 316, the good guy with the black hat, Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia. We are live on.
You don't stop putting that up there, man. You know, I hate Trent Baalke. Trent Baalke is the quarterback mark now.
Just
you saw that deal that Sunshine and Sun. He messed up the quarterback market.
Different show.
So hey,
you put it up there. I ain't.
Just remember, y'all. We live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and yes, I still say Twitter, and we live on Twitch. You can follow us on TikTok, IG, Facebook, and Twitter, and then you can listen to us on Google, Apple, Spotify podcasts. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
Thank y'all.